If you've kept up with the headlines, Special Counsel Jack Smith is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to expedite a ruling on whether former President Trump has, quote, post-presidential immunity. Now, so far, the Supreme Court has not decided it will give Jack Smith an answer. It has only stated it will consider whether to grant a review on an expedited basis. This might sound complicated, so here's some clarity. Jack Smith wants to know, can the President of the United States, once he is no longer in office, be held criminally liable for potential crimes committed while in office? Of course, the DOJ is prosecuting President Trump for the January 6th Capitol riot. But why bring the Supreme Court into it now? President Trump's trial is already set for March 4th, the day before Super Tuesday voting. If President Trump is convicted, he will certainly appeal, and the case could be tied up in review for months before heading to the Supreme Court. And likely, a final decision wouldn't come until after the November election. To keep that from happening, Jack Smith is now asking the Supreme Court to give him a preemptive green light to prosecution, thereby leapfrogging the appeals process and almost guaranteeing a final decision before Election Day in November. Have we seen anything like this before? Yes and no. In 1974, Nixon's Oval Office recordings were ordered to be released in the Watergate scandal. That expedited case took the Supreme Court less than 2 months to decide. And in 2000, who could forget the Supreme Court's decision in Florida that effectively gave George Bush the election? That decision took just days. So why does the Jack Smith case matter? If the Supreme Court decides to hear the case now and were to hand President Trump a victory in the coming weeks and months, all of the federal criminal cases against him would go away. So what's the motive? It's the same as the other criminal and civil cases against President Trump. The left wants to inflict maximum damage against President Trump and cast him as an illegitimate candidate for president in 2024 and ultimately impact your right to vote. So it might be the holidays, but the ACLJ isn't taking any time off from defending that right and protecting the Constitution.